Okay, well, without further ado, let's get going. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm Lisa Morawski, trustee, Sacramento City Unified School District. We're holding this press conference via Zoom because our board president, Christina Pritchett, unfortunately has COVID. We hope you feel better soon, Christina. Thank you for being here with us virtually. However, even though we're not physically together, the three board members who are providing a statement today are representing our unified board as a whole. So March 13th was the 2-year anniversary of the day our schools closed down due to COVID. Our schools, our teachers, and everyone who is a part of our district have suffered, most of all, our kids. Now, in the aftermath of COVID, there is a staffing crisis in nearly every industry across the country, public and private. This staffing crisis, on top of a teacher shortage, has hit public schools particularly hard. These 2 years have been exhausting for our teachers and staff. Now our kids need us more than ever, and our capacity is depleted. So to our teachers and staff, we hear you. It's been so hard, and yet you get up and show up for our kids day after day. We hear that primal scream of just burnout. These concerns are totally legitimate. And just because we know this is playing out in districts across the state and nation, that doesn't make it any easier day after day. So then we're all faced with, collectively, how do we solve this problem? A prolonged strike is not a solution to this problem. It's not going to bring in more staff. It doesn't create more resources for us. It adds tension, uncertainty, and trauma in a year when we are all trying desperately to reach some level of normalcy. It deprives our kids of their education and social support, and it's dangerous for kids who have to be left unsupervised. In short, it's a lose-lose. We believe the district's proposal offers concrete solutions. It accepts many recommendations from the Neutral Fact Finders report on staffing issues. It gives extra pay to those nurses who are working longer hours. It raises pay for substitutes and for those who are pulling double duty to fill in for their colleagues. It allows teachers to volunteer to take on teaching our independent study students and earn extra money. It also includes a signing bonus of $2,000 for every new teacher we bring into our system. It's not going to solve everything, and it's not going to be a quick fix overnight. Staffing is an issue across the country in every industry, but it will make a meaningful difference and, importantly, help compensate for the extra work that so many of our teachers and staff have taken on. The district is also offering a generous compensation package to settle our outstanding contract. It offers 100% paid healthcare for employees and their families on a very generous Kaiser plan with low copays and no deductible. Right now, our salaries are already the second highest in the county based on a comparative salary analysis. We are only second to Rockland Unified, which only pays up to about $10,000 for their teachers' healthcare, compared to up to $33,000 right now in Sac City Unified. The district's proposal puts more money in the pockets of all of our teachers and certificated staff with one-time bonuses and an ongoing salary increase, together equating to about 6% of their salary for this year. On top of that, another salary increase of 1.65% for 3 days of high quality paid professional development with their fellow educators to expand their toolbox as we start next school year. And we have massive opportunities if we can work together. Let's put this contract behind us and close out this year so we can start concentrate on planning for prom, Sly Park, getting back on the field, acing those exams, all the things we know our kids want and our teachers want. If we can close this down and move forward with one-time federal funds and with a better state budget outlook for next year, We are excited about the investments we can make in our staff and our students in our next multi-year agreement. Now let's make it our business to come to a resolution this weekend so we can see everyone in school on Monday. One last thing, we appreciate offers from community leaders to bring us together, including Superintendent Tony Thurman. We know local and state leaders want to do everything you can to help. Because this is a local issue between the district and its labor partners, we do not want to circumvent the appropriate process for reaching agreement with our labor partners at the bargaining table. That process calls for the district to meet with SCTA to resolve these issues and bring an end to the strike. So we are urging SCTA to present a counter proposal to the district's last proposal so the district can give that due consideration and provide a response. With a counter proposal, the district's negotiators are prepared to meet around the clock with SCTA so we can bring our students back on Monday. Our team reached out to SCTA again earlier today to request a response to the district's last proposal. Thank you so much. And now I am pleased to introduce board member Jamie Villa.
Hello, I would like to start with an important point that needs to be very clear. Your team is ready and willing to continue bargaining. We have made repeated offers to resume negotiations since last Tuesday. We are waiting for a counterproposal from our labor partners that we can discuss through the good faith negotiations process. I want to address what we have heard about the fact finder report as a basis for negotiations. The fact finder report has a lot of information in it that we all care about. And I'm glad that many suggestions in the fact finder's report are already in the district's proposal. And just because the district doesn't agree with all of the recommendations doesn't mean that we cannot consider counterproposal through the negotiations process. But we need a counterproposal. And I know it can be hard over Zoom and the negotiations process can seem very formal, but is the process that we need to come together to get an agreement. We all want to get students back in the classroom with their teachers. And we know the social, emotional, and mental health of our students is the most important thing. We also care deeply about our staff, and we know this is hard on them. The district negotiations team is ready to meet around the clock, but what we first need is a counter proposal from SCTA. And we must spend this weekend reaching an agreement so all of our children can be back in the school on Monday. Now introducing Board Member Phillips.
Good afternoon. I'm Board Member Phillips, Trustee Phillips, Area 7. And today I'm speaking from my heart to the community of SCUSD at large, which includes the Board of Education, our employees, Superintendent Aguilar, and our labor partners. The strike must end. This is not just a district problem. We know it affects our whole community. Our students are not in school. Our classified staff are not in school. Our teachers are not in school. It's hurting not just children, staff, and teachers though. It's hurting folks across this city. Other businesses and agencies are also suffering. Employees calling out sick for the last 3 days to care for their children who are not attending school. There are working single parents unable to afford childcare and have been forced to call out of work for the last 3 days. There are parents across the county who are faced with the prospect of leaving their children at home unattended. I was brought up in a labor family, so I support the working person, and I've lived firsthand how strikes take a toll on all who are involved. I wouldn't change a thing. I fully support working together with our labor partners to come to an agreement. We need a counter proposal to keep making progress. I support a path of resolution to return to bargaining, get our families, staff, and teachers, our community, back where they belong and where our students can be educated, loved, cared for, fed, and nurtured. We got work to do. Next up is Jamie Board-Villa to let us out.
Thank you all. The district proposals are ready for anyone to review at www.scusd.edu on the negotiations page. We are committed to remain transparent about this process. If you have any follow-up questions, please contact the district. And thank you all for attending. This concludes our press event. Have a wonderful evening.